Hi, my name is Jada Lewis, and for my leadership interview, I selected Dr. Marcia DeStasso, who is the chair for the PR department here at UF, as well as a professor. I selected her mainly because of her many accomplishments in the communications field. She's a member of the Arthur W. Page Society, which reads as the leading professional association for senior public relations and corporate communications executives and educators. She's also won the Educator of the Year award, and I also selected her mainly because of how she interacted with me as a student. I was in her class last semester, and she was very open, a great teacher, a great professor, and she really guided us students and gave us a lot of advice and details, and really interacted with us on a one-on-one basis as well as in a group setting, and really asserted herself in a way that made me at least feel a level of respect for her. So to get the time to do the interview with her, all I had to do was send a simple email. She was very open to sit down with me and just gave me simple instructions on how to schedule time with her. When I went to her office, I showed up early. She was about 5 minutes late, but the minute I stepped into her office, I felt immediately welcomed. She was very present, very engaged in the conversation, and very open and willing to answer a lot of questions. The office itself was very neat. What I found very interesting about the setup of her office was that instead of the typical office style you find where you have her desk and then two chairs facing the desk, she had her desk, but then she had a table in the middle of the room with four seats. And immediately she sat down there rather than at her desk, even though she had just come in from a separate meeting. And so I found that very welcoming, and it made me feel comfortable in a space that wasn't my own. First, I'm going to speak about how much she values communication as a leader. In the interview, I actually asked her how does she manage to make the students feel connected to her as a professor in these large lectures where she has 100, 200 plus students. And she said the main thing she likes to do is let everyone talk. It's not only that she's talking with us, but we're also talking with her as well as amongst each other. And I think that really helps us to connect with everyone, and it helps us to really break the barriers down and create an informal atmosphere, and it helps her as well to tailor in the environment to be more comfortable for us as students to appreciate the lecture better. She also spoke about how communication is not only important amongst her team members but also important to herself. She wasn't always worked as a professor in Gainesville. Obviously, she was elsewhere. So she said that she had actually been working in the north and studying in the north. And she said that she kept those connections. She kept in contact with these people that she had spoken to there. And she said that those connections really assisted her when she left and came to Gainesville. And it also helps because she has those connections, she can speak to her friends, she can seek guidance amongst from other people, and she can also refer her students or her subordinates, let's say, to those people abroad or those people out of state. And that way she enhances the experience that she herself has as a leader and gaining that knowledge as well as her students and subordinates. The next thing we spoke about was how she valued having a diversity amongst the team. Um, she said that, in some organizations, people will look for a clone of themselves because that's what they may prefer, but she prefers that, or she finds she works best in an environment where there are multiple backgrounds, multiple experiences, and multiple viewpoints. And so that obviously led to the question of, so with these multiple backgrounds, experiences, and viewpoints, that may lead to conflict. And what I found very interesting is how she deals with conflict. I think this is a key characteristic or a key behavior that a leader has that will resolve conflict very well. And she said that the way she resolves conflict is by focusing on the larger goal. She says that despite our personal agendas or personal views, we still have to bring it back to why we are here and what is the greater purpose, what is our greater mission. And I think that that's a key quality a leader needs to have, which is to conceptualize why everyone's here, and despite the surface level, there is a deep rooted purpose that they are all following. The third thing we spoke about that adds to her leadership qualities was how she's a very empathetic person. She had said that she had put herself in situations where she could relate to her students. She got a college degree, master's degree, and her PhD, and she continued to take classes, continue to study, so that she could level with her students, level with her subordinates, and give them advice, and as well as understand what it means to be a college student. And so, one specific thing she said was, the more that I can put myself in your shoes, I can value the types of assignments and give things that are going to impact. And so that really speaks to how much she cares about her students and how much she thinks about what will work best in this situation or not, and not what will work best for me. And I think one thing that really adds to what was said last was how she spoke about always wants to be challenged and always seeking new experiences. She had mentioned that everything she does, she sees the next step, she sees the next goal, and that as a leader, she may have reached an end goal, an end point, but the way she continues to reach that next level, that next step in her life, is to continue adding to her knowledge. She'll never be done adding to her knowledge. And one thing she had said specifically was that she took a class in coding, and that she did that because she wants to get that breadth and get that depth in communications, and or just to add to her general knowledge. She, in fact, didn't even start out in communications. She had said that she started off with a college degree in economics and wants to go pre-law. And she started as a stockbroker, and over time, she found herself in communications, and that she she values all those experiences because they all add to what she's doing next. Um, and she's not ever done really learning. After the interview, I still view her as a leader. I actually left the interview feeling extremely inspired, and I really enjoyed doing this assignment. I think that before the interview, I had viewed her as a leader mainly because of her accomplishments, but afterwards, I view her more of as a leader because of her the way she goes about advancing herself in communications and as a person. Like I said, and she highly values working with a team. She highly values communication and having new experiences and challenges and learning new things. And I think that knowing that about her is what now makes me view her more as a leader rather than what she's accomplished. Two things I learned that I think I'm going to take with me, or not think, but I'm going to take with me on a practical level of leadership is one thing she said, and I quote, she said that it's very important to show up. When you're somewhere, you're very engaged and you're very present. And that was very obvious in the interview. So when she said this, I wasn't very surprised because that's exactly what she had been doing for the past 30 minutes. She was very engaged, very present, and very much there with me in that conversation. The next thing that she had mentioned was that she highly values mentorship or sponsorship, and having somebody who you can go to speak with, seek advice, seek guidance, or take that time to talk with them about your day and reflect on whatever happened. And I think that's something that's very key with leadership is reflection. She said that there is nothing specifically she does to reflect as a leader on her day or whatnot, but the main thing she does that really helps her to understand and grow in leadership is to have someone, a pinpoint person she can go to and speak to and seek guidance.